Boris Johnson's a liar and he misled Parliament over Partygate. Here's what the committee had to say.
If Mr Johnson was still a member, he should be suspended from the service of the House for 90 days for repeated contempts and for seeking to undermine the parliamentary process by
deliberately misleading the House, misleading the committee, breaching confidence, impugning the committee, and thereby undermining the democratic process of the House. But this was the most interesting, being complicit in the campaign of abuse and attempted intimidation of the committee. But should we be surprised?
Certainly. Let me tell you what is true.
This happened in your life, so you know about this.
So many people want to know, are you honest, Prime Minister?
Why don't we talk about something else?
The programme also includes, well, this is about your integrity.
Why should we believe anything you say when it has been proven you're a habitual liar?
Do you think Boris Johnson's a liar?
Yes. Yes, he deliberately misled the people, let alone Parliament.
Let me ask you about a barefaced lie. When you were in Michael Howard's team, you denied to him you were having an affair. It turned out you were, and he sacked you for that.
He's a compulsive liar. He can't help it. Yeah. It's his hobby. Yeah.
In which your friend Darius Guppy asks you to supply the address of a journalist so that he can have him physically assaulted. The words beaten up and broken ribs are said to you. And you, having heard that, you tell your friend Darius Guppy you will supply the address. The Times let you go after you made up a quote. Why did you make up a quote?
But obviously the Tory party will come to his rescue, right?
That he's just a pathological liar.
What does that say about you, Boris Johnson?
Well,
aren't you, in fact, making up quotes, lying to your party leader, wanting to be part of someone being physically assaulted? You're a nasty piece of work, aren't you?
If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. At the end of this, I'm going to remind you of what Ian Blackford did and said in the House of Commons. So let's take a look at the allegations and some interesting quotes from some of the people that work closest with Boris Johnson.
For these reasons, we conclude that Mr Johnson's conduct was deliberate and that he has committed a serious contempt of the House.
This is as serious as it gets, but is it really surprising considering all those clips I just showed you at the beginning? Boris Johnson is a pathological liar, and frankly, everything we've been seeing and hearing from him has been one large roller coaster of narcissistic, pathologically lying behaviour. Have a listen to what he said to the committee.
I'm here to say to you, hand on heart, that I did not lie to the House.
Yet, according to the committee, it was his own co-workers that threw him under the bus.
Lee Kane told us in evidence that he saw the tone of the email invitation for the gathering of the 20th of May 2020 as clearly social and in breach of COVID guidance.
There was evidence in the committee shown by the photographs, if you remember those.
The picture shows this gathering, and it appears to show multiple bottles of alcohol in the bottom right-hand corner of the photograph. Would you say that that is strictly necessary for a work event?
It's customary to say farewell to people in this country with a toast. I didn't see any sign of drunkenness or excess, and had no knowledge of. I don't know why anybody would have been fined for that event. I don't know what happened later on.
And don't forget Allegra Stratton.
I've just seen reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street Christmas party on Friday night. Do you recognise those reports?
I went home. Hold on.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas party?
What's the answer?
I don't know.
It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine. Just be clear, it's not.
Is cheese and wine all right? No. It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
It is recorded. His fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced. One more.
And there was more witness testimony from Johnson's own aides.
We have evidence of WhatsApp messages sent by Jack Doyle in January 2022, stating he was struggling to come up with a way. The gathering of the 19th of June 2020 was in the rules.
And one final piece of evidence.
A junior official also told us in evidence that they felt it was clear that rules and guidance were not being followed in Downing Street, stating,
Number 10, despite setting the rules to the country, was slow to enforce any rules in the building. The press office wine time Fridays continued throughout. Social distancing was not enforced. This was all part of a wider culture of not adhering to any rules. Number 10 was like an island oasis of normality.
So what does this all mean? Personally, I think the Tories are now kaput. And Boris Johnson's any future in politics is up in flames. And we should all be celebrating, because maybe this is the beginning of the end of the craziness. However, it's never as simple as that. There are still elections to be won, there's still time for the Tories to be able to recoup, and obviously there's always a chance that Boris might be able to come back into Parliament. However, they've made moves to block him. The committee have said he should not receive a former member's pass, which means he wouldn't be able to access Parliament, but obviously politics is more complicated than that. With the Goblin-Toed King talking about how he wants to court Boris Johnson into his party, although that in itself is another video. Maybe we'll get lucky and someone will throw the book at him.
Guide to Politics. Pathological liar. Everyone loves a fool. Boris, fantastic. I just wanted to give you your book, Boris Johnson, Pathological Liar. Everybody loves it. Are you lying right now? Absolutely fantastic. I can never tell if you're doing it or not. You're like the Donald Trump of lying. You know, you've got much better hair, though. Amazing work. Like a pathological liar. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. Boris, can we talk about it just quickly? He's one of my friends. I was in the bowler with him.
What I would like to talk about, and I mentioned earlier, is the SNP and Ian Blackford. I think someone is owed an apology. Have a listen.
At the very heart of the scandal, there is one thing that needs to be said, one thing that needs to be heard, and it's the very reason that we all need to act. And the reason is this, that the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is a liar. I genuinely don't say that lightly, and I don't say it loosely.
And he didn't say it once, he said it twice.
Let's talk facts. The Prime Minister has told the House that all guidance was completely followed. There was no party. COVID rules were followed and that I believed it was a work event. Nobody believed him then. And nobody believes you now, Prime Minister. That is the crux. No ifs, no buts. He has willfully misled Parliament. It's bad enough.
Order! Inadvertent misled the House would be acceptable. Misled the House is not acceptable. Withdraw inadvertent.
The Prime Minister inadvertently told the House on the 8th of December that no parties had taken place and then had to admit that they had. What the public see is a man who has debased the office of Prime Minister, shrinked responsibility, dogged accountability and blamed his staff at every turn, presided over sleaze and corruption and tainted the very institutions of the state. In short, Mr Speaker, this is a man... Well, they can laugh, but the public know. The public know this is a man they can no longer trust. He has been investigated by the police. He misled the House. He must now resign.
Order. You'll have to withdraw that last comment.
And this is where Parliament needs some reform. The Prime Minister needs to be held accountable, and I don't see why it can't be done through the Speaker of the Commons.
Speaker, I gave the evidence of the 8th of December.
Order. You're going to have to withdraw misled.
Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister has misled the House.
Unless you withdraw, I'll have to stop, and that's not good. Just withdraw the words.
I am standing up for my constituents that know that this Prime Minister has lied and misled the House.
Give me the paper. Give me the paper. Inadvertently misled. I'll give you one more chance. As leader of the SNP, I don't want to have to throw you out. I'm going to give you this chance. Please.
Please to power. That man has misled the House.
Shut up. I'm sorry it's come to this, and I'm sorry that the leader of the party has not got the decency to just withdraw those words in order that this debate can be represented by all political leaders.
I've got to tell the right honourable gentleman that for much of what he said, his best course is simply to wait for the inquiry to be complete.
And isn't that comment in itself amazing? Because as soon as he said wait for the report to come out, it comes out and he starts claiming it's a kangaroo court.
Can I just say, I take it the honourable member has withdrawn it, the right honourable member.
That the Prime Minister may have inadvertently misled the House.
Order. To help me, to help the House, you've withdrawn your earlier comment and replaced it with inadvertently.
It's not my fault if the Prime Minister can't be trusted to tell the truth.
Under the power given to me by Standing Order number 43, I order the honourable member to withdraw immediately from the House. From the House. Rivera, it's all right, we don't need to bother.
Ian Blackford deserves a medal. As you can see, the Tory party defended him to the bitter end. It's now caused a split, and frankly, it looks doomed. Thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube supporters who keep this channel going and growing. If you'd like to become a Patreon or YouTube supporter, please check the links in the description. Otherwise, just hit that like button and subscribe button. All of it helps and doesn't cost a penny. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.